Okay, let's just move right along. Okay, let's see here. Although the following paragraphs from the rays and the initiations relate specifically to the third degree initiate, the information given on the use of the different aspects of the will in relation to the three department of hierarchy is of value to all students. Connection with use by the initiate of what we might call pure will. Pure will works into manifestation through one or other of the three aspects of the spiritual triad. The activity is determined by the major ray upon which the initiate finds himself, from the angle of the monadic ray. If the initiate is upon the first ray, he's working the department of Manu, right here. So, what is the department of Manu? I think it's important that we understand what we're reading right here. All right, Manu was accorded to the progenitor of humanity who appears in the world to start a new aeon after universal destruction. The earliest text mentions that his story was 700 BCE to 300 BCE, and it was a flood story similar to that of Gilgamesh and Noah. This would be out of the Vedic text, because this is Hindu. And let me go back down to our book. And so, let's see. It says, he will use and express the innate will aspect, the atmic nature, or through the highest aspect of the spiritual triad, to which we give the inadequate name of divine will. So he helps you with your divine will. Students are apt to forget the spiritual triad related as it is to the monad, in much the same way as a threefold personality is related to the soul. Sounds like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Expresses the three major aspects of shambolic energy, which three are all of them expressions of will of the planetary logos and his essential purpose. So it's the expression of the will of the planetary logos, which there would be God, and his essential purpose. And now I have a dog scratching at my door. Lulu, no, go lay down. If the initiate is on the second ray, working for the department of Christ, Christ gets spot number 2. He will, through the medium of the Budi, excuse me. Oh, well, I guess this is boring. I need a little joke there. Budai. The second aspect of the spiritual triad. If he's on the third ray, it's the department of the Mahachohan, which is Lord of Civilization. Who is Mahachohan? Take a look. Mahachohan is the head or hierarch of the 7 Chohans. His name means Great Lord. And he teaches God mastery. All right. And I do believe that he's the keeper of the flame. And he has a twin flame, Pallas Athena. So Athena, Greek. All right. And a lot of these you're going to see. Kuthumi is one of the masters. I've already read it, so I'm going to tell you he is one of the masters that they speak of. Kuthumi is also one of the masters. And, oh, look, see, they even mention Madame Blavatsky is stern and impassionate as death itself. I apologize for the fact that the dog is scratching at the door, but she's just going to have to survive. And the Ascended Masters, who have dictated through the messenger Mark Prophet and me since 1958, give us further insight into the personality of Mahachohan. The Ascended Master, Paul the Venetian, tells of an encounter he had with him. I'll link the page. You guys can go read it if you would like to go read it. Okay? All right. I said I'm going to be skipping because if I had to read Walheim 168 pages, I wouldn't be done until the end of January. So, I'm going to skip through. They do have each morning prior to starting the day's activities, they want you to repeat these prayers that they have. And I think I need to find, if I can, where she talked about I don't know where it is. Hopefully I'll remember that they deliberately designed these prayers. There was a deliberate, calculated way of designing these prayers that would make a person feel somewhat of a detachment from any commitment to a religion, but would also, those who are in constant, hope and struggle, and maybe they have no real even belief in God, they would feel comfortable. They were looking, that's what the word I was looking for. They wanted a comfort level where it wasn't spiritual and it wasn't religious. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's exactly what they said. And I'm not going to say their prayers. And then it gives info or instruction how we are ready also to offer help and suggestions and advice. It's a group effort, which would be their triangle groups, to cooperate consciously and usefully in externalizing hierarchical methods of work and linking inner cause to the outer effect. A sharing of thought and energy is stimulating and evocative. Now, you do know that the word evocative, when you evoke something, that is done in a lot of, or it is done in all black magic rituals. And it kind of gives them, 5 steps here. What is mankind's next spiritual step forward? What are the real spiritual needs of humanity? How can they be formulated and met? 2 basic principles of synthesis of relationships should underlie all religious teachings and training. So how can this be formulated into major and universal tenets that all religions can adopt? What does the redemptive process really entail in terms of planetary relationships and unfoldment of the divine potential in mankind? And where should the basic responsibility be placed for spiritual development? It is so nice of them to wish to transfer the government of the physical world. They want to transfer all of us over to the posing government on the spiritual side. It is so nice of them to have a vision for our lives and not share that vision and impose their will upon us. They are usurping the free will that the Creator gave us, but again, it comes down to we give up our will freely through our ignorance. Okay, I loved the way they talked about how religion is religar, to tie back, a cause or a principle or system of beliefs held to with order and faith. It's to tie back. But then what they do is they go on to talk about how they are going to go ahead and use the religion because it has an invocative appeal to humanity and an evocative response of a greater life to that cry. So in other words, they're saying, why fix something that's not broken? So okay, then on the second part they have the continuity of divine relation, and they talk about the doctrine of the avatars and the appearance of the avatars. And that's very interesting in and of itself, because they talk about how Jesus was an avatar, and that his physical body, and that he's actually come and gone many times in physical bodies. I guess we just missed the appearance. And talks about man's inherent divinity, and let's see, life consciousness and appearance, and gives you just everything that you'd want to learn. Their way. Oh, the fact of the soul, law of rebirth and law of karma. That's on page 48. I think that's one of the pages I wanted to skip forward to, but I wanted you to see what's in here. Then they have the doctrine of the coming one on page 59, and also the New World Order and predictions. So let's see. Let's go to page 59. And I may end up bouncing up too high because sometimes the pages in a PDF is different. So let's see. Now this is the law and rebirth of karma. Okay, well, I'll just take out a few. Perhaps the problem consists that the gates of the future seem to open upon a material world and upon a realm that is intangible, metaphysical, and superstitious. We have well nigh exhausted the resources of the material world, but we have not yet learned to function in a non-material world. We even deny its existence at times. We face the inevitable experience which we call death, and yet take no rational steps to ascertain whether there really is life beyond. The progress of evolution has produced a wonderful race equipped with a sensitive response apparatus and a reasoning mind. We possess the rudiments of sense which we call the intuition. With this equipment, and we stand before the gates of the future and ask the question, what purpose shall we put this composite complex mechanism which we call the human being? Have we reached our full development? Are the shades of meaning of life which have hitherto escaped our attention, and have escaped our attention because we have latent powers and capacities as yet unrealized? Is it possible that we are blind to a vast world of life and beauty and its own appropriate laws and phenomena? Mystic seers and thinkers of all ages and in both hemispheres have said that such a world exists. And so, I wanted to get on to resurrection. That sounds interesting. The whole concept of resurrection is the new and most important revelation which is coming to humanity and which will lay the basis for the New World religion. The emphasis during the past 2,000 years has been on death. It has colored all our teachings of the Orthodox churches. Only one day in the year has been dedicated to the thought of a resurrection. The emphasis in the Aquarian age will be on life and freedom from the tomb of matter, and this is the note which will distinguish the New World religion from all that have preceded it. So we're all going to get everlasting life with the New World religion. They're getting ready to write a new chapter in the spiritual living book. It's imminent happening, a fresh recognition of a divine attentiveness to now possible to humanity, and a revealing expectancy will prove the accuracy of the Bible statement, every eye shall see him. The religious livingness or spiritual history of mankind can be summarized for us by a series of recognition of those who down the ages have constituted the apostolic succession, culminating for us in the great religious leaders who have come out among us since 700 BC and founded the great modern world face. Above all else, in the Christ himself, who embodied the perfection of God immanent plus awareness of God transcendent, recognition of those major spiritual concepts of love, life, and relationship, which have hovered in the background of man's thinking, which are now on the verge of right expression, recognition of the true brotherhood. Okay, this is where I wanted to be, on page 64, and I went to page 59. Thank you, PDF. The doctrine of the coming one is linked to the teaching of every great religion. In all of them, the idea of subjective spiritual order concerned with the developing welfare of humanity is to be found. This is an age of culminations in the field of religion, as in the field of science and politics. All the great lines of the human approach to reality and truth passing out of the realm of tangible and exoteric into that of the intangible and the esoteric. Science is rapidly becoming science of unseen and unprovable. Religion has emerged from a realm of mystical into a clear atmosphere of the occult. That doesn't make sense. How can something mystical emerge into a clear atmosphere of the hidden? Because that's what occult means. Okay. And must now emphasize the reality of the unseen as the efficient cause of the seen. Politics and governments are engaged with processes of thoughts and ideology. Okay, the great and satisfying reply to all human questioning and human need is to be found in the doctrine of the avatars. Did you know that? And in the continuity of divine revelations. So, God reveals himself through appearances, through the coming one. Doctrine is found in all basic world religions, of course. And every time and age, it appears in the doctrine of the avatars. The Hindus talk of Maitreya Buddha and Kalki, and belief in the Western world, return of Christ, and the second coming, and in the prophesied issuing forth of the divine adventure of the Muslim world. All this tied with the undying belief of mankind in the loving heart of God. Whoever meets man's needs, the witness of history is that always the appearance of man's necessity has been met with divine revelation. As you can see, she has a lot of books, Voice of Silence, etc., etc. And here's where we get our fifth age. It's the emergence of the fifth kingdom. It's quite clear to see that the United Nations, if you want to know where your New Age movement came from, here it is. Okay, the kingdom is not going to be composed of orthodox theologically minded people. Now, see, that's where I feel that that's how they've managed to pull off what they have, because we are all running away from the orthodoxy, and we're running towards what was the life of Jesus. I mean, what did he example? That's what we're running towards, but we are leaving orthodoxy. But those that have never read the Bible or any other religious text, which I think is important, or occult text, they're lost sheep, and they're just, ready for any shepherd to grab them. Okay, I'm sorry. Its citizenship is wider than that and includes every human being who is thinking in larger terms than the individual, the orthodox, the national, and the racial. The members of Coming Kingdom will think in terms of humanity as a whole. And as long as they are separative or nationalistic or religiously bigoted or commercially selfish, they have no place in that kingdom. Statements like this, you can see how they've been setting everyone up about, national borders, religious, commercial. It's all on their vision boards. The TV media is a vision board. Just like The Secret taught you to get a vision board. Well, that's what media and newspapers and that are. They're vision boards. Okay. Skipping on down here. I tried to highlight this stuff that I wanted to talk about in yellow, and they wouldn't let me on these PDFs. Let's see. Okay, the kingdom is now organized upon the earth and is composed of men and women everywhere who have lost sight of their own individual salvation and hope of heaven, because they know that unless heaven can express itself here and now, it is but a futile hope. Really? Really? They are occupied with the process of self-perfection and self-purification. Really? These guys can talk a good talk because probably most of them are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They're not interested in self-aggrandizement, nor with the making of claims of any kind, beyond the one stupendous claim that they are sons of God, as are we all. They do not prate of initiation or call themselves initiates. No, we don't. They are satisfied to walk among men as those who serve. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? I guess I need to get a clue. I've been walking in service to my brothers and sisters. That's what I always do. A reaction to the appearance of the kingdom may account for the unrest of the masses. A reaction to the appearance of the kingdom may account for the unrest of the masses, and the general sensitive response to new ideals may be due to the impact of the force of the kingdom upon the minds of the more advanced people of the world. The mystic and the Christian may talk in terms of the kingdom of God. Philanthropists and philosophers talk in terms of world community, of new civilizations and world federations of nations, of humanity as a corporate body of community living, and of internationalism, economic interdependence, and world unity. That these are mere words and names which differing types of mind apply to the one great emerging fact of a new kingdom, with its own principles of its living, its laws of group welfare, and its brotherhood of man. Yeah, they are mere words. I will agree with that. And yes, we all do have differing types of minds. I'm going to read another sentence and maybe I'll make another comment. Such is the goal for the man who seeks to stand with Christ in the founding of the kingdom to fulfill the will of God. That's my goal. There is no other objective worthy of man's attention, nor one which will so absorb every power he has, every gift and talent he possesses, in every moment of his being. You know, if these people would get out of our way, it's too late right now, but if they would have gotten out of our way a long, long, long time ago, because we know that this hierarchy and bloodline has been here forever, since Pharaoh times. If they would just get out of our way and quit trying to steer us and suppress us and enforce their idea of us, we wouldn't be in such a mess. Thank you for listening. I don't even know how long this is. Apologize if it's too long.